Hey guys, my name is Michael. Today we're discussing about frugal living. This is important as long as you don't take it to the extremes because of course you can always turn into a penny pinching cheap So instead of that, we're going to talk about what is important. Well, in the future, it's nice to have some comforts. So whatever your favorite hobbies are, or favorite things, or maybe you love cars, you want a really nice car, you want a really nice house, that's a pretty solid investment as well. Cars are depreciating. They're not great assets, although some can be, but those are mainly for millionaires. Or you have the classics, which you have to take real good care of. But everyone has their one or two or three things that they want to invest money and time and blood and sweat and tears into. And that's totally fine. For me, it's cars. I love cars. I sell cars. I want to have a good car in the future. But I'm still far away from having a good credit score, so that's going to have to wait. And I'd like to have a nice house in the future. Doesn't have to be too crazy, because if it's too big, then you've got these additional costs. You have to actually take care of everything. And what about if it's too big and you gotta hire cleaners and hire landscaping crews and all that? But renting is also a pretty big cost. I'm at a point in my life right now where I have to start thinking about the bigger picture. I'm finally, thanks to that tax refund and thanks to the past 2 weeks, finally turning out to be a little bit better. I'm making a little bit more money, and now for the next month, since I sold a decent amount of cars, it's closed last day of the month, I'll be making a little bit more for next month. It's like it's finally starting to turn around. I got my credit card finally. That's got a $1,000 limit, so that's for emergency situations. It's like, okay, I don't need to take personal loans anymore. I'm paying the ones I have, which is improving my credit score because I have personal loans, credit cards, and an auto loan. And as long as it's going to be good history for the next 6, 12, 18 months, whatever, banks are going to love that. My credit score is going to improve. The interest rates are going to go down. And eventually I'll be able to take out one big personal loan for a much lower APR, pay off everything else, slowly pay that off, build credit score, get into 700s, get rid of all personal loans, and only use credit cards for good situations, such as you're able to make money off of this for business debt that you're able to pay off before interest hits, or for emergency situations, of course. But then an emergency fund has to be built. So now that we're finally heading into a new year with a better financial position, and I paid for immigration, I paid for the lawyer that I was getting sued last year, and I'm still going through those payments, and that's done. Don't have to deal with that. I'm paying for dentists and old doctor bills and all that, and hopefully next year I get health care. We are getting out of a bad situation. There's still a lot more to go. Still have to have a couple more good weeks, and I'll be even less stressed out then. It's not going to be perfect, but I'm very happy. And now we need to maintain this and get into a better situation. How? We need to save money. Sounds easy, but I've been poor for too long, and I've been struggling for too long, and it is not fun when you have weeks where, yes, I could be fine if I spent my money on groceries and the necessities and gas and rent and all this, but I'd rather, well, of course I pay rent, but I'd rather spend it on bills. And there was weeks where I didn't have enough for groceries, didn't have enough for gas, had to borrow from someone at work. Things weren't good. So taking a look back at everything, I want to lower my payments for what I can. I want to feel more comfortable with a lower rent, although that's going to be tricky because of inflation right now. But hopefully we get to a point where things are going to get better. Used car prices will fall, so I'm able to actually get a dream car of mine in the future for a regular price instead of overpriced, and with better interest rates, even though interest rates right now, the month is closed. And guess what? If you have an 800 credit score in new cars, instead of 4.5%, 5%, goodbye, hello, 6.5% rate. Woo! But same thing for mortgages and whatever. So anyways, crazy time to be alive, but I don't want to have payments. I don't want to have a car payment. I want to buy everything in cash in the future, but I still want to have good credit. So of course I'm going to be using credit here now and then, every, whatever, to build credit, to maintain. I want an 800 plus credit score in the future for emergencies, for business use. I want to use it smart. I want to make sure I never get into this position again where it's poverty. I hate it. And yes, it's completely something different when you're earning $30,000 and $70,000 and you're crying poverty. Yes, the person with $70,000 has much more opportunities to get out and get loans and whatever. And of course, that's what I've been doing, but it's not good. I wasted thousands of dollars in fees for loans over the past year. Thousands. And it is what it is. And next year, I want to reduce that. And I've paid some stuff off, and I know next year it's going to be better. So I'm excited, but I don't want to go crazy. I can't remember when's the last time I bought clothing for myself, besides, the suit, which was for work. I needed it anyways, and I needed it for a wedding and all that. And it's come in handy. I'm using it every single day. Sometimes I go in the same suit for 10 days in a row straight, and, it is what it is. So no matter what happens, guys, we have to remember one thing is important. It's how you sleep at night, and if your cortisol levels are messed up because you're stressed out, because your car payment, rent, your shopping sprees, everything is just insane, you are going to go crazy. You're going to go nuts. And I wasn't spending frivolously this year. I was just paying old debts, new debts. I had new debts because of emergencies, medical emergencies, lawyers, getting sued, immigration, all these things that are like big. I got COVID, my back got injured. It's like, oh my goodness, I was out of work for 1 week, then I was out of work for another, and I had to pay these bills, and I had to pay rent, and this is probably the first month that I can actually afford my rent, and I'm still technically supporting my partner because she can't work, and it's like, whoa. So there's a lot going on. She's going to be able to work next year. Everything's going to be fine. I'm happy with the way things are turning out for next year. The first part of next year going to be tricky. The latter part should be good. So instead of going on shopping sprees and whatever and just making up for all the pain, I want to hold on to every single dollar I have. And I feel guilty sometimes of, like, finally I was able to take out, Ola, my wife, to a restaurant after so many months, and I was able to take her out. That's when the tax refund hit. I said, you know what? So over $100 went, and I felt very guilty. I felt a little bit of regret, but then again, I said, you know what? We deserved it. That's it. And that, next time we're going to wait a little bit more till we go out to restaurants, but that was a long time coming. So I thought of that like a celebration, like, yes, all right, cool. Now I got to make a lot of money. So hopefully in the future, this will be a normal thing. But still, again, living frugally. So thinking of small little outings like that as a celebration. Not going crazy at the grocery store, not going crazy at a restaurant, not going crazy, for cars and jewelry and whatever, but saving up for the good moments, stuff that you will treasure, your memory will treasure. You'll have nostalgia later on. Trips, I think, will be important. We want to go to New York for Christmas. We've been waiting. We've been putting off honeymoon and all this for many months, and that'll be kind of like a mix of everything, and we want to save up money for that, and that's something that it's good to save up for. You want to save up for a good down payment for a good house, but you want to make sure that you're able to afford it, right? You don't want to grow into a house. You'd rather just be fine, have a small house, and then when you have enough money, buy cash. That would be the best solution, but everything's going up in price, so it's not like extreme frugalism. No, like, it's not extreme, like you can't celebrate, you do nothing, but I want to have investments. I want to have 401ks. I want to have a trust fund set up in the future. I want to have an emergency fund. I want to get out of debt. I don't want to have any more payments. I don't care about that stuff. I don't want that. So it feels good. I'm starting to finally get into a better place financially. My next tax refund will be in a couple months because this one was delayed. So, I want to file early next year because I know I'll be owed money. And since my filing status has changed into married, it should be a little bit more. and then I'll use that money to pay off whatever remaining debts I have, and after that, it should be good. And Christmas bonus is coming up. That's around December 15th, so I'm excited for what's to come. Now, number one thing is just got to make as much money as I can over the next few weeks and keep that up. And if I'm able to do that, then we're able to get into a much better financial position, and my credit score will rise, so I'll finally save a little bit of money, because these personal loans are killing me, man. But it's going to get better. So some people might celebrate and go crazy, and no, I only got into debt from necessity. It wasn't like, oh yeah, let's take a credit card, go shopping, go crazy. And some people who might not be familiar with the story, I lost a lot of money. And yes, I was spending like crazy back then, but I also had, at one point $100,000 in an account, and I could afford to spend crazy. And I was living in a country where rent was so much cheaper, and the luxurious lifestyle, it didn't really matter. Now, even back then, I didn't have a car, so it was different priorities. I'd rather, which was silly. I spent thousands on designer goods, which totally lost value, but it could have been worse. Because, again, what I lost back then mainly was from investments. And sometimes I wish I took some of that money out and burned it, because at least I'd have more fun than just seeing a candlestick and then, freaking out and, oh no, I lost my money and that's that. So that's why I'm paying off old debts for many years. It's because of bad investments and because of some bad altcoins I was in, and got greedy and learned my lesson from that. And now I'm maybe finally an adult, because I realized what not to do, what I learned from my mistakes. Maybe this sounds like a rant, but I'm scared. I'm thinking about emergency situations. I don't want to spend money because I'm worried. What happens if I have another doctor bill? What happens if my car has a flat or something needs some repairs? Or, you got to plan for life. Hope for the best, but plan for the worst. And if everything goes the opposite way, if it goes well, then you're able to save some money and not care, and things are going to get better. So that's my little spiel. We're getting back into crypto content. I need a laptop. I haven't had a laptop. My laptop's approaching 6 years. Replaced battery once. Needs a battery replacement now, because usually 1,000 cycles. But pretty soon, with both batteries, we're approaching 2,500 cycles compared to my wife, where her laptop, 1 year younger, and she's got like 200, 300 cycles. So I've definitely been using my equipment. The best thing would be to buy that, but I'm going to wait till that other tax refund, until I make more money and have some money saved up, because this laptop keeps dying on me, and the keyboard needs a replacement. The screen was replaced. And honestly, the maintenance is costing me more than just buying a new laptop at this point. It wasn't designed to last this long. Apple makes some bad products, but, great for editing, so it is what it is. We need some better equipment for the channel, but we'll get to that because right now it's not a necessity. Now, I don't want to wait until the very, very last moment, like with my root canal, where it was in so much pain that I needed to go, and by that point it's too late and it costs you more money and you're in a panic. But I don't know, it just feels better because I finally have less stuff to pay this month. This month's over. October's here. Halloween's coming. I'm excited. I have less stuff to pay. Maybe I'll be able to afford to buy some things for myself finally. Really cheap things, but I'll be able to do that. But I'm still going to wait because I'd rather save some money. Have money actually in my bank account instead of constantly using debt. What a crazy concept. Not being constantly negative every week. And right now I'm actually going to send $1,100 to my sales manager, which I'm so grateful for. He loaned me money, and we're paying back all these loans, and zero interest, and that was amazing. Super grateful. So I'm happy because I'm finally paying people back. It's not like I'm paying back people on time, but I'm glad to be able to just have that wiped off my slate, a weight off my shoulders. We're all good. Everyone's happy. So thanks so much for watching. Follow me on my journey, and things are getting better, and we will have more exciting content next year, and hopefully eventually in a couple of years we're in millionaire status, baby. Let's do it.